everybody. My name is Margaret McLaughlin and I'm here today from Havantake Housing Association. I would like to welcome you all to the launch of the booklet Grandad Visits the North Coast. Before we have the launch, I would like to welcome some of the primary schools who are joining us online. The primary schools are Portstewart Primary School, Portrush Primary School, Millstrand Integrated Primary School, Portrush, Carnal Ridge Primary School, Portrush, St Patrick's Primary School, Portrush, Lisslagan Primary School, Ballymoney, Ballymoney Model Integrated Primary School, Dunserverick Primary School, Ballycastle Integrated Primary School, St Mary's Primary School, Rathlin, and last but not least, Criffin's Church of England Primary School, Shropshire. I will hand you over now to Brian, who will narrate the play.
I was in Portrush Library the other day and I came across this book. And in this book are letters written by Pedro, who was a cabin boy on the Armada ship, the Girona. So Pedro was allowed to play with his friends in the castle gardens. Then the king's page arrives and summons Pedro. I am hereby instructed by order of King Philip that you, Pedro, along with your friends, should report to the good ship Girona, which sets sail in the near future, along with many other vessels in my Armada. Oh, and he also says, don't forget to write to your mother, she worries. So, they went off to pack. What do you pack for your holidays? Toothbrush? Do you take your teddy? I take mine. Here's my teddy. He's looking a bit tatty, but still, he's old.
Dear Mother, well, we are underway at last. We left Spain in July, and what a sight it was. 130 ships. It took 2 days for all of us to leave port. The captain says there are 8,000 sailors and 18,000 soldiers on board our galleons. Here in the Girona, we have 140 sailors and 180 soldiers. The soldiers are with us to fight and when we board the English ships, and of course to fight when we land near London. Once we left Spain, we headed across to the Bay of Biscay. Our plan is to sail through the English Channel and pick up 16,000 of our soldiers who are waiting for us on the shores of Netherlands. My friend Samuel is a great artist. He's drawn a map for us. The sea was rough as we crossed the bay and I was sick. But eventually, the storms passed. We are now entering the English Channel. Life on board for us children is very busy, mainly scrubbing the deck. Our hands are raw and all wrinkled up with being in the cold water so often. Mother, I bet you wished I did more scrubbing when I was at home. My friends had a funny job yesterday. The rope which the sailor used to tell our speed got all tangled up, so they had to sort it. This is a chip log. That specially shaped piece of wood that's thrown over the back of our ship, and the rope which is specially attached to it is then let out. Every 16 metres there is a knot. You time the rope going out for 30 seconds, and when the time is up, you count the number of knots that went out, and that is your speed. We are a big and lumbering galleon, so our speed is only about 4 knots. One task we all enjoy is looking after the animals. There are lots of animals on board. Chickens to give us eggs, horses for the soldiers for when they land a fight, and cats and dogs to chase the rats. This is our cross staff. It helps us to tell us where we are. You hold the staff against your chin, then slide the cross up and down until the cross is lined up with the sun and the bottom of the horizon. Then you read off the angle and look it up in the charts. It tells us our latitude, and when it's calm, we occasionally are allowed to steer, but only in a straight line. One of us was always the crow's nest right at the top of the mast, keeping an eye out for the enemy ships. They know we're here because at night I can see their bonfires, which is lit all along the shore to warn the people of our arrival. One of the men in charge of the English Navy is called Sir Francis Drake. I don't like him. They say he used to be a pirate, but no sign of him. He's probably playing bowls. Anyway, don't worry, Mother. Their ships are much smaller than ours, with not so many cannon. We have 50 cannon. When we are not working, we play board games. Our favourite is 9 Men's Morris. You take turns putting a piece on the board. You have to make a line of 3, and every time you succeed, you can remove one of the opponent's pieces. And all the time we are on board, the seagulls follow us diving and wheeling about. My turn in the crow's nest. Still no sign of the enemy, and we are well past Plymouth. Perhaps they are waiting for the tide to turn. Suddenly, I spotted them, not in front of us, as we all expected, but sneaking up behind them.
So the drums started and the battle began. The children's job was to keep the gunners fed with cannonballs. Some of them were even given swords just in case the English came aboard. Others carried buckets of water to put out the fires. They even had their own gun. And all the while the English kept circling and firing.
Hello, Mother. Me again. Things are not good. When I told you the English ships were smaller than ours, we didn't realise that made them faster than us and lighter. We have dropped anchor outside of Calais to sort ourselves out. The idea was to get alongside the English, board them and fight with muskets and swords. But they were sneaky and never came close enough for us to do that. So here we rest on the shores of France, waiting for the wind to change direction before we set off to collect our troops further up the coast.
2 of the ships collided and one exploded.
Suddenly there was a shout from the crow's nest. The enemy are coming again. Everyone went back to their positions, but they were so tired from the previous 3 days of fighting. Then the lookout yelled a strange thing. I don't think there's anybody on board. What are they doing? And there are no sails either. That ship is on fire, and there are more coming.
Oh, Mother, what a frightening sight. 8 ships all on fire drifting towards our fleet. We had to move out of the way quickly. There wasn't even enough time to lift the anchor. 2 of my friends chopped the anchor rope, and we fled. Mother, it was a shambles, with our ships bumping into each other in the scramble to get away.
But as they neared the Giant's Causeway, so the storms got worse. The wind got up, the lightning flashed, and huge waves rolled over the Girona as she made her way towards the coast. So the Girona sank. Over 1,000 souls drowned. There were very few survivors, but one who lived was Pedro. He found himself alone on the rocky shore, tired, wet and hungry. He clambered up the steep cliff and started to walk. He didn't know where he was and was very frightened. He walked for many hours and eventually saw a castle. It was Dunluce Castle. He could hear music. There was entertainment. Here would be food and warmth, but would he be welcome? Yes, he was made welcome. And when Pablo had dried out and had been fed, he sat and listened to the music. Until a cook suddenly rushed in.
Ladies, The kitchen has fallen into the sea. All the sausages or chips are gone.
And so they went without their supper that night. So Pedro stayed at the castle for the rest of his life. And that ends the story of the Girona. But it's not the end of the story. I'll tell you for why. But it's not the end of the story, because not many years ago, a man was in a library looking for books about buried treasure, and he found a book called Port in España. And he thought, I wonder if any of the ships from the Armada sank there. So he got a lot of his friends together and they went diving. And yes, they found the wreck of the Girona. And that really is the end of the story of the Girona. And if you want to see any of the pieces that they found under the sea, they're all in the Ulster Museum. And now we come to the exciting part, the part you've been waiting for probably. Margaret is going to tell you about your present. Margaret.
I would like to say a huge round of applause to all the dancers and the harpists today. Please give yourself the Deputy Mayor, Aisling Shannon. Aisling, would you like to say a few words?
Just a very few. Hello boys and girls, how are you doing? I was really lucky there now to get chatting to the caretaker, and he was able to tell me absolutely everything about this from beginning to end and all the hard work that has gone on, and I can't believe that you made it all happen on the stage. Isn't it amazing? And you're going to be able to, from now on, you're always going to be able to say what you did on the stage forever. But lovely idea, absolutely beautiful idea, and so many children from... How many different towns do we have here? Have we got Ballymoney? Have we got Coleraine? Kilray? Yep. People from all round. Isn't that great? And you're all here working together. And it's great that you have that opportunity. And hopefully you'll do more of that in the future. But thank you to Margaret for inviting me along. And I believe all the schools are seeing this right now?
Yes, all the schools from Portrush and Portstewart, Bushmills, Ballymoney.
Brilliant.
And also Rathlin and as far away as Shropshire in England.
Very
Isn't that
good.
Fantastic.
You'll be famous, eh? Game of Thrones, eat your heart out. More talent from Northern Ireland. But listen, well done, boys and girls, and look forward to me giving them a wee present.
Yes, we're going to be giving out books now. I just want to say that this project has been funded through the Housing for All programme, which has made this possible today to give out the books, looking at the local history of all the area. So I hope that you'll still take the books with you and go exploring Northern Ireland, the north coast of Northern Ireland. And it shows all the different venues that you can explore in your travels over the summer. Now, we will start, and I ask all the schools to give out their books now at this stage as well.
There you go. I wonder who that was man in the front is. Who you think that is? God, it's quite a hefty book. You'll have plenty of travelling to be doing. It'll give you some great ideas.
Finish off by saying a thank you to some very special people who have made this possible today. The first person is Brian Willis, the writer of the book and the producer of this play. Thank you, Brian. It has been fantastic. And thank you to Aisling Shannon, the Deputy Mayor, for helping us give all the books out and for her kind words. Thank you. John McNally, who isn't here today, but he's chairperson of the Portrush Heritage Group, who introduced Brian and I a few months ago. Thank you, John, for that. And when Brian says things could get out of hand here, believe him. I didn't think I would be here today, but thank you, Brian. The dancers from the Kelly Neal Dance Company, well done. You're fantastic. And your teachers and your parents should be so proud of you. You're all stars in the making. And also the harpists from Dunseverick Primary School. You have done a fantastic job. Well done. And last but not least, all the guys behind the scenes who have made this event such a great success. Well done to them as well. So that's all for me now. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and I hope you will take the books and really enjoy them over the summer months and get out and about and see all the different resorts. Thank you.